Good afternoon, Santa Clara. I'm Mayor Lisa Gilmore. Thank you for joining us for Mayor at Noon. During the show, you'll have an opportunity to ask us questions live. As you've likely heard by now, the County of Santa Clara's Public Health Department recently lifted the indoor mask mandate, which is encouraging news as we recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, this is the first show that I've had without a mask, so it feels a little bit different today. One of the groups most impacted by the pandemic has been our students, teachers, and schools. At the onset of COVID-19, schools were placed in the impossible position of either moving their students to online classes or canceling classes altogether. As the pandemic persisted and evolved, schools were then faced with the task of navigating health orders and vaccination requirements while bringing students, teachers, and staff back to the classroom as safely as possible. Joining me today on the show is Bradley Davis, Chancellor of the West Valley Mission Community College District. Bradley took over as Chancellor in 2019, overseeing a district that encompasses both West Valley College in Saratoga and Mission College in Santa Clara. Throughout the pandemic, Bradley has led the administrative team that oversees the district's COVID-19 health and safety protocols while addressing issues of food insecurity, homelessness, and equity and diversity at West Valley and Mission colleges. Under Chancellor Davis's leadership, the district has also expanded its support services to veterans and established community grant scholarship programs that provide free tuition, books, meal vouchers, and transportation to more than 500 students annually. Welcome to our show, Chancellor.
Thank you, Lisa. It's terrific to be here. I really appreciate the invite. In your role as mayor, you've been really terrific in your support of the West Valley Mission Community College District, so it's great to be able to talk about the partnerships between the city and the district.
Thank you, and I'm really excited because there is so much going on at the West Valley Mission Community College District, and particularly Mission College, and I know we have you to thank for a lot of that, so I'm excited to hear about all that and all the things that have happened during the pandemic. But let's first start talking about you and your background. You have both an academic and professional background, which is really, really impressive. But I also heard that you possess a Juris Doctorate. And I'm curious as to why you didn't pursue a career in law. Obviously, the field of higher education was of interest to you. So why education and not law, or are you blending the two? So tell us about yourself.
I think two reasons. Number one, I love education, and I respect and appreciate the impact that we can make in our communities and future generations through education. Interestingly enough, when I started, right after graduating from law school, I worked for a law firm and did clerkships for law firms that represented only community colleges, school districts, and universities.
Oh.
So I was exposed very early on to the inner workings of these institutions, and I realized that I could make a bigger difference by being inside the organization and helping them steer their way around potential issues that sometimes can be glossed over when you're receiving problems at the end in litigation, which is so destructive. I want to be part of the solution in the community. I want to be somebody who can really help maximize resources and maximize connections with our community. And that's why I'm in education. And it's been an over 2-decade-long journey, and I've loved every minute of it.
And you must have an amazing perspective having the legal background as well, and how you look at your organization from top to bottom with that other lens as well.
Well, I think in my role as chancellor, I'm forced to confront labor issues, financial issues, legal issues.
Right, a myriad of all these
and
issues.
Having that background certainly does help me navigate that terrain pretty fluently.
Right.
Which is important because we want to maximize every dollar and make sure that it finds its way in the classroom.
And not end up in court, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, very good. So your relationship with the district is well established, having served as the president of West Valley College before your current leadership position. And I understand you have a very solid fan base at West Valley College as well. So now as chancellor, do you miss your days serving as president, or do you enjoy the overarching responsibilities that come with your current position?
I think I was ready for the change. I don't miss that work. I like to say that working for 2 colleges is twice as nice, and it gives me the opportunity to make double the impact. I really enjoy the time I get to spend with students, mentoring them, befriending them. I've actually made several lifelong relationships with students over the years. And the opportunities to don the Viking costume or to participate in Halloween events or dunk tanks keeps you young. So I always enjoy that. I think no matter what role I'm in, I'm going to be very active in my relationships with students, because it's also important to hear from them what's important to them and how we are or are not meeting their needs. And fortunately, I'm in a position to make changes that can benefit their education. So I always want to keep that conduit open.
I also think it's important that you served as president so you can see the district from the inside, completely from a different perspective as well. So
I like to say when I sit with my executive management team on Monday mornings that I've actually done almost every job at the table. I started in 2009 as a vice chancellor, and then I became a president for almost 8 years, and now I'm in the chancellor role. So having that knowledge of how all the pieces fit together and how they can work in harmony and in support of students, I think helps me navigate the terrain as chancellor. And certainly over the last couple years, we've been confronted with some unprecedented challenges that I think my experience has uniquely prepared me for.
Right. So you oversee 2 campuses. Can you tell us how they differ from each other?
Let me start by telling you how I think they're similar.
Okay.
West Valley in Saratoga and Mission in Santa Clara are both institutions that are guided by an outstanding faculty. We are dedicated to teaching and learning, and we are committed to serving our students' best interests. I think you will find at both colleges that we are really focused on serving the whole student. It's not just about what happens in that classroom for an hour every day. It's about looking after their needs in terms of food and transportation and mental health counseling and other things that really help them navigate the process of higher education. Our commitment to equity and diversity and anti-racism at both campuses, I think, is unprecedented in the system. We have a deep focus and a deep commitment to making sure that we are serving every student and that we are elevating student voices of all different backgrounds, perspectives, and ideas to help them maximize their potential. You've probably heard the statement that talent is equitably distributed across the population, but that opportunities are not. And from my position as a community college chancellor, I see that every single day. And I think it's our collective mission to ensure that we are not only paying close attention to that, but that we are actively removing barriers and that we are championing opportunities for all of our students. How are we different? Well, the 2 campuses are different in the sense that...
Certainly are, aren't they?
in the sense that, we've been very blessed to have the support from our voters to provide us facilities bonds to reimagine the campuses and provide 21st century educational facilities. But at West Valley, we've kept the rather bucolic charm of the campus. There's a creek that meanders through the campus. There are a lot of trees. Mission is more of a high-tech, centered in the city campus.
It wasn't always that way, though. So
oh, I know.
It's evolving and evolving.
and for anybody who hasn't been on the Mission College campus, I invite you to come take a free tour hosted by the Chancellor, because it is really special and amazing. And I have to give credit to our Board of Trustees and President Daniel Peck, who recently left us. Their vision for that campus was extraordinary, and our students and our community are the beneficiaries of it. Modern, open, bright, friendly, engaging climate in which to pursue your studies. It's pretty amazing.
I've been there recently for the Firefighter Academy graduation, and being on campus reminded me of just being in a 4-year institution. and with the buildings, and I was happy to see all the relocatables gone and others. It's just what a different vibe and what a different feel on that campus. And I just want to give a shout out to our Santa Clarans board president, Ann Kempner, and trustee Bob Owens and trustee Carl Watanabe. They've done an awesome job, as well as the entire board for the city of Santa Clara and the Mission College campus in particular. It's really a wonderful place for the students to want to learn. It shows that the district really has invested in the students and care about the students, and it's just, it's a really, really a pleasant place.
We take a great deal of pride in being the Mission City College. And even though Mission College is relatively new, it started in the 70s, it has deep roots in this community, and that's something we're really committed to nurturing. I think you could look to, just the folks in civic roles in this community. We've had fire chiefs, we've had city managers, we've had members of the city council come through Mission, and we take our role as serving the next generation of Santa Clarans really to heart. Mm-hmm. I think if you were to walk into a hospital or you were to walk into a fire station, you'd be hard-pressed not to find somebody who's come through Mission College. And that's really what we're about, keeping that talent local, providing opportunities for Santa Clarans to really thrive in the community that they've called home. And I believe that our working and learning environment is world-class. And I think it's our job to do more outreach so that everybody like you and I who are on the campus frequently sees how wonderful Mission College is.
Right, and that's another reason for this show as well, to really, expose this to the community if you haven't seen it in a while. But that leads me to ask you, how many certification programs do you have in your colleges? What do you offer?
Well, focusing a little bit more on Mission since we're here today.
Right.
Mission has 95 degrees and certificates, yes. To say that there is something for everyone is an understatement.
There literally is something for everyone.
Right. Whether you want to be a chef, classically trained to work in local hotels or world-class restaurants, whether you want to be a firefighter, whether you want to be an English teacher, whether you want to be a police officer, Mission College is really the best place to start. I always say that a student's educational journey is highly personal. There's no one correct way for a student to proceed. But in an era when the UCs are constantly impacted, and I read a graphic the other day that there are over 225,000 applications to the UCs, and some of the schools are admitting less than 10% of applicants.
And the grade point average you need to even get in is well over 4 points. And
what Mission College can offer is a student-focused learning environment, oftentimes in a classroom with less than 20 students, so you're getting individualized attention at 1/10 the cost, and then the opportunity through our transfer agreements to get almost guaranteed transfer into the UCs with junior standing. And I always tell students, that's probably the best investment that you can make. Our faculty are teachers at heart. Some do research, but most are focused exclusively on nurturing our students in the classroom. And that's a personalized experience that I don't believe you get at many large institutions that for a lot of students is worth its weight in gold.
My daughter's at a UC, and she'll have 200 children in her class and others, and her professor doesn't even know who she is.
Like
right?
I said,
besides the statistic,
it's highly
that's
personal.
Not Mission College.
It's highly personal,
Yes.
your choice,
Right.
and there's something for everyone. But I am a big believer that greater focus on the students' well-being and attention in the classroom contributes to our success rates, which are among the highest in California. Each year, almost 70% of our students are eligible for UC transfer,
That's
which
amazing.
is really impressive.
Great statistics. So in December, I was fortunate to be able to attend the inaugural graduation of the Mission College's first Fire Academy, which was pretty impressive. So you must have been very proud of those graduates and to be the leader of this program.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the leader. Dave Rose and the faculty
We know
who run
Dave
the
Rose
program,
here, very well here in the city of Santa
they
Clara.
are amazing.
Yes.
I'm proud to lend my support to their
Well,
good
it doesn't
work.
happen without your support and your board support as well. So.
That's true, and I appreciate that. But I really do believe that Mission College is equipped to be the pipeline to public safety and service in this community. We are blessed to have not only the outstanding fire technology program and fire academy, of which you witnessed the inaugural graduation, but also really a state-of-the-art nursing program.
I was at their graduation. I plan to be at it again this year. Amazing results there.
It's incredible. Outstanding administration of justice programs that lead students into a very fruitful and rewarding career. And they're prepared because they've had access to incredible technology and incredible faculty. Most people don't know that Mission has its own fire engine. They have their own fire tower. And now...
Isn't that the Don von Raesfeld's
yes.
family tower? And we know Don von Raesfeld family here in Santa Clara.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You know that...
It's all the connections. Yes.
We talked about that interconnectedness with the community. And you walk around the campus and you'll see the Viso name, the von Raesfeld name, the Gilmore name, other names on campus that really indicate that commitment to continuing to partner with folks who've helped Santa Clara grow so well.
It also shows how important Mission College is to Santa Clara and how proud we are of having this community college in Santa Clara, and how you've evolved, the college has evolved over the decades to provide the services and the education that's needed for today's, future employees. You're really providing what we need.
Yeah, and that's really our focus. We want students, whether their path is to transfer to a four-year institution, whether it's to begin a new career in a technical field, or whether it's just to retrain and find something new that's exciting to them. With 95 degrees and certificates, there's something for everyone, and you'll be able to do it in a classroom experience that is really state-of-the-art, thanks to our bonds, and has faculty who are devoted to serving your individual needs. Community colleges are a very special place, and I think Mission and West Valley are among the most special.
Right. So you have, it occurred to me, you're educating so many students who are in many career paths, many who eventually find themselves as first responders, which really are more important than ever now since the emergence of COVID-19 and its variants. So how is the enrollments in these programs? Is it pretty steady? Is it increasing since the pandemic? Or what are you seeing out there now?
The enrollment in those first responder programs is very strong. And we're actually looking for ways to expand opportunities to increase enrollment in those programs and others. It's no secret that we need more firefighters.
And police officers, firefighters, nurses.
And
we're relying on you to bring us those graduates.
And I think we're up to the challenge. Okay. And I think we're dedicated to providing those opportunities. That with climate change in California, with the Great Resignation that we've all heard about, there are actually going to be a number of opportunities for students to step into those roles and make a meaningful contribution, but they need the education to do it, and that's where we step in.
Right, as our baby boomer workforce is aging out, we need the next team. And for us here in Santa Clara, having Mission there is really been a godsend for us to you'll see graduates from Mission in our fire department, in our police department, everywhere.
Sure.
You're everywhere now. When I was growing up, my father made us all go to community college before our four-year institution. He said no, and he really believed in the community college education system. And I think it's a wonderful place for high school students to really grow up. The first time you're on your own, and to have such a supportive environment at Mission and West Valley is really important to encourage them to continue on their career paths. So speaking of challenges, how long were you chancellor before the pandemic hit?
About 8 months.
I was going to say 8 days, 8 months.
But it feels like 40 years.
Really?
I've been a higher education administrator for more than 2 decades, and I can state honestly that the last 2 years have been the most challenging. There are institutions that offer exclusively online education, spread throughout the country. It usually takes about 10 or 15 years to develop the curriculum and roll out an online institution.
I'm laughing because you had, what, 10 or 15 minutes
we
to do
we
that.
had about 10 or 15 days to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it was really a testament to the strength of our community that our faculty were able to pivot from in-person instruction. It takes an incredible amount of effort and work to pivot from teaching a class in person to teaching it online. But they rose to the occasion. We were able to proceed in an online format. Our classified staff found ways through emerging technology to provide services from financial aid to counseling and other things in an online method. And I think I'm really proud of the work that we did. I think the next phase for West Valley Mission and for all community colleges is to emerge from the pandemic stronger and to learn from the lessons that it taught us about being flexible in terms of our managing our schedules of classes, how we work with students, how we provide them mental health. Enrollment is declining across California and the nation, and I think it's because students are zoomed out. They're looking for that college experience. They want to be back and experience.
They've missed out on so much in the
community.
last 2 years. They miss being with people. And
yeah, so it's our job to find ways to develop systems and pedagogy and structures on the campus that allow them to nimbly pivot between in-person and online.
So it's amazing because you instituted a food pantry for your students years before the pandemic. So what are the statistics when it comes to food insecurity and among your homeless college students and college students in need of food? I was able to volunteer one day with Councilmember Watanabe and President Peck. I was out there pre-pandemic passing out food, and it was amazing to me to see. We had community members there getting food, but also a line of students getting food. So tell us about what's happening with your homeless student population and the need for food.
Well, I think it's fair to say that in any given semester, we have between 300 and 500 homeless students between our two campuses. And this was something that I discovered once about 10 years ago. I was on the West Valley campus. It was over the holiday break. And I was with my son, who was young at the time, and we were walking to a basketball tournament that was in the gym. And as I was walking through the campus, I noticed these lights in different parts of the campus. And I said, what are those? Why are there lights on? And as I got closer, I realized that they were laptops of students who didn't have anywhere else to go. They felt safe on the campus because it was protected, but they didn't have a roof over their head. They didn't have food. And I think at that moment really crystallized the need for me and our team to be part of the solution here. And that's why both colleges created food pantries. Both colleges provide emergency funds to students who need help with rent or other things that emerge in their life. We provide transportation vouchers and passes. We do a lot of mental health counseling and services to help students. Like I said earlier, it's not just about being expert at teaching and learning, which I think we are, but it's about all these other things that happen in the 23 hours.
The whole student, right? You're looking out for everything.
Yeah, the 23 hours outside of the classroom. And I think that the institutions that serve students' needs in that form are the ones that are doing it best and are really poised to help students continue their studies and be successful and move on in transfer or a career. I have to give our students credit because I reflect upon myself as a young man. And if I were a freshman or a sophomore college student and I was homeless and didn't have food.
Homeless and hungry and
I don't know that
expected to study, would you have the fortitude to go through the process, through the school and do that? I'm not sure I could have either.
I don't know that I would have either. And that's why their dedication really deserves and demands our support and respect and our contributions to their journey.
Well, I think this pandemic has really opened a lot of our eyes to the state of our communities and the need that's out there and the divide that is really so wide between the haves and the have-nots, and the need for us to help if we're in a position to be able to do that. So it's great that you see everything, because it's not just a student that comes and goes to class and leaves. There's so much more, and it's really amazing that you've recognized that.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I know you've been at the food pantry more than one time. I know that you and your team are always willing to help us out, so thank you. It is a community-wide effort. Right? And as Santa Clara continues to evolve with housing and other new elements in our city, I think the pressure on Mission College to rise up and meet those needs is ever increasing, and we want to make sure that we're prepared to do that.
And I remember with expanding Mission College, I remember President Peck as well saying we want to open to the community. So the expansion really opened the college to the community in so many different ways. Thank you for that. Are there other services that you provide for students during the pandemic? I know that you did more than just food and other assistance.
Obviously, students needed a lot of help with technology. I think we provided almost 1,000 laptops to students to use.
Okay.
We provided all sorts of technology support, from Wi-Fi hotspots and other tools that they needed to be successful in their work. We even extended the range of our campus Wi-Fi out beyond the boundaries of the campus so that folks would have access to that, because that is often a major source of inequity. And again, I'm really proud of how we met those needs, and I think it's given us a lot of wisdom in terms of how we can continue to evolve in a post-pandemic world.
Okay, great. So I think we have some pictures. I don't know if you were able to show some of them. And I'm going to ask you, Bradley, what advice do you have for parents of high school seniors? Why community college versus a four-year institution?
Oh,
And I want to show some of these like happy graduates while we're talking about that as well.
I love that question. Well, there are a number of fronts, and I think I touched on the pedagogical advantages of community colleges. Small classrooms, dedicated faculty, really strong wraparound services where you're not just a number. You're not one of 300 in a freshman class.
Or falling through the cracks,
You're,
right?
You're one of
lifted
15.
One of 15.
And when we see you start to slide through the cracks, we reach in and help you out. But also financially, Ben Franklin said that if you empty your wallet into your head, no one can ever take it away from you. Community colleges are 1/10 the cost of UC. You can spend your time getting that great education at a community college and save enough money for a down payment on a house, a car, a graduate education, a start to your business, and get that guaranteed transfer to the UC system. I tell parents, and I'm asked this question all the time, that your student should apply to the full range. Community colleges, CSUs, and UCs, and you should evaluate the educational opportunities, the financial implications, the course of study that you'd like to pursue, opportunities for intercollegiate athletics, and the campus environment. Not everyone is ready for a big university. Sometimes in 2 years we're ready.
But you help them transfer.
Absolutely.
And that is really important, that the assistance that you need, and when they enroll in Mission College or West Valley, you can see their path to a four-year.
Yes, our ADT and our tag agreements with the UC are specifically designed to put you on a pathway where you know exactly what you need to do, what courses you need to take, what grade point average you need to achieve in order to get that guaranteed transfer. Those seamless pathways have been instrumental in increasing the numbers of transfers to those programs from both of our colleges. And I think that's something that if you're the parent of a high school student, you should really do some investigating to see how effective they really are.
Okay, so before we get to comments from our public, I want to ask you a question about athletics. Some people think that community college do not have the athletic teams or other opportunities for their children, or if you're a student and you want to continue playing basketball or soccer, whatever you're going to play. Tell us about your athletics in the district.
Well, West Valley has 13 intercollegiate athletic teams. Mission College has 5. We have had 5 teams in the state championships this year alone. So not only do we have a full panoply of sports that you can play, we have outstanding coaches, former major leaguers, former Olympians who are on staff who can really help students not only enjoy the continuance of their athletic career, but also get prepared to transfer to the next highest level. And every year we transfer students to some of the very best Division I colleges around. I would tell you this, I was a college athlete.
What is your sport? Tell us all.
Baseball.
Baseball.
And
okay.
and I will say that the lessons that I learned on the field are still with me.
Yes.
I consider them an incredible compliment. When held in the appropriate balance to academics, athletics is something that can really help you hone your goal setting, your teamwork, your communication, dealing with adversity. And I like to tell our student athletes, this is an opportunity for you to receive two educations. So we do our very best to make it available to as many students as possible.
So not only do you help your students seamlessly evolve into the four-year college, but you help your student athletes as well.
Absolutely.
In terms of placement into four-year institutions so they can continue their athletic ability. And there are some athletes that I know of in particular, especially coming from Santa Clara, the soccer community and others, that their grades weren't quite great in high school, but they ended up in community college, played their sport, you know, they were at the top level, their grades improved with the help of the community college district, Mission College, and then went on to the four-year. So I personally know of some success stories in that respect. What about counseling services for students? I mean, we read every day about the mental health issues that our college students particularly are going through and the need for help. So tell us about what you offer.
Well, both colleges have invested heavily in mental health counseling services. We have a district-wide health services program that is run by a medical doctor. We have psychologists, psychiatrists on staff that we work with, and we have a great internship program with San Jose State where their counseling psychology students work directly with our students. We have seen incidents of mental health concerns rise dramatically during the pandemic. That coupled with the uncertainty about what's going on in the world in Europe, that coupled with fear, economic pressures, other things, students are experiencing a lot of stress.
Yes,
and if we're not really thoughtful about how we respond to each and every student, again, we're not serving the whole student. That's just as important as academic counseling.
Yes.
That's just as important as teaching and learning. And we're really committed to doing our best to serve every student in that capacity. But it's an ongoing challenge that we have to continue to devote more resources and energy to do it the right way.
Yes. All right, let's go to our audience to see if there's any comments. And then I have one last question for you about what are you going to see when you walk on Mission College, at Mission College campus? What are you going to see for those who haven't been there for a while? So start thinking about that one.
Okay.
But let's see. Okay, love you, Mayor and Bradley. Keep up the good work, Mayor. That's from Larry Oliveira. He's a longtime viewer. Thank you, Larry. Thanks for your comments. Thanks, Mayor Gilmore, for having us from Mission College. Cheers from Mission College. Bill Wilson Center is available to help homeless students. Thank you, Pilar. Thank you. That's a wonderful resource here in our community. Thank you, Mayor, for helping those in need. Community college is a great way to go save money and get a great education. Thank you, Edward. He lives out on our north side. He's very involved in the community. From Councilmember Anthony Becker, I love going to Mission College. I had so much diversity, flexible schedules, endless opportunities, and excellent locations. Some of my favorite instructors taught at Mission. Shout out to history, poli-sci professor, Mr. Swanson, who can forget the original main building that was so massive. Now it's an awesome central plaza. Mission College was part of what got me to where I am today, and I encourage all to educate themselves on the Santa Clara-based campus. Thank you, Mission College. Go Saints. Okay, so can Chancellor talk about his guitar music? At Mission College. Okay, tell us a little bit about that. I have to hear about that now.
Well, I'd rather talk about Mission College than me, but I will say I'm a lifelong guitar player and collector, and I find that music is an opportunity for me to relax and be at my most creative and really reflect on my day. I play every single day, and the days that I don't, I feel like I'm missing something.
So that's your food for your soul.
It really is. We all have to have that something,
have to have something,
right,
don't
that
we?
helps us be at our best. So
very good.
I love that.
Well, it's been wonderful to have you here, but before you go, tell us about our residents or anyone who hasn't been on the campus of Mission College in a while. What are they going to see?
Well, let me just say this. If you haven't been on the Mission College campus in a while, you're going to be blown away. Councilmember Becker is right. It has completely evolved from really a single building campus that sort of resembled a spaceship.
Yeah, we don't forget that
to
one.
with
yes.
a grassy central plaza surrounded by beautiful state-of-the-art buildings that support technology, student services, hospitality management, athletics, you name it. And I would personally give a tour to anybody who would like to come.
You might regret saying
that.
that.
No, I won't, because I believe in it, and I'm so proud of it. It is really going to be a centerpiece for the growing Santa Clara. And when these new developments come in, we're so optimistic that we can continue to be a partner with the city on youth athletics, on education, on concerts in the park and food trucks and other things. We want to be part of that hub of Santa Clara. And I think when you come on the campus and see how beautiful it is, you'll be hooked.
I completely 1,000% agree. It's a beautiful campus, and I just have to say that you are such a valuable asset to our city. I brag about it all the time, whoever I'm talking to, about how wonderful the community college is. And it's not just that, it's the availability of all the opportunities there for our residents, of all ages, of all income levels. It services everyone here. And I think that's what the community college system is all about, to help serve people and be part of the community. And you certainly are part of our community. It was so wonderful to have you here, Chancellor. Thank you so much.
I loved every bit of it. Thank you for having me. As you know, I could talk about the wonderful work of the community colleges all day, but you hit it right on the head. Mission College is very fond of saying, you can go anywhere from here.
Yes, very good. So thank you. So finally, on that, I would like to say thank you very much for joining us today. That's all the time we have for Mayor at Noon. Until next time, be well, Santa Clara. Thank you.